Hey, Captain Eddie Castellan here, finishing up the bottom of a very thin bowl. I didn't want to crush this with cold jaws, so I put it on my vacuum chuck. Yep, I have one of these hold-fast vacuum generators, and I run about 25 pounds of pressure on it, and I get about 10 inches of mercury on the vacuum. A lot of folks have this, and you get those pre-made cups. Or you can make a cup on a faceplate, or make a cup and put a bolt in the bottom of it. I made one that fits on a glue block. So when I'm not using this, I have nothing invested in it, it can go away. And I can go back to my chuck right away. No major investment. It's pretty simple to make. Uses pipe parts, and oh yeah, you gotta order that cord from one of the supply houses. But it's easy. Watch. Let's start with the fact that we need a couple of wood rings. And I didn't use MDF, I used 1/2-inch plywood, and I put 3 rings together. They're about 5.5, 7 inches, I don't know. Just a little bit bigger than a pipe. I put them together. I put a pin down through the middle, the 1/4-inch holes, to line them up so they don't slide around when you glue them. An old cabinet maker's trick here. Put a couple of squeeze clamps on them, and I'll let them cure overnight. If any walking or warping wanted to happen, I wanted to happen right away. Then I was ready to go over to the lathe the next day. Here's where I inserted a glue block. Now this glue block was seasoned wood. It was a piece of mahogany I've had for a long time, so I know it didn't move a lot. I've already used it for a glue block in 2 or 3 pieces. I put a little rim on the outside, and then I dished the center out. That's critical now. I want the center dished out and only about a 1/2 inch edge on it that'll be holding on to the plywood when I put it on there. That's all I'm going to need. Any more than that, I could get some warpage between the two of them. Now these are the parts I have. From Craft Supplies I ordered this rig. Now I started with a piece of lamp, a bung that I drilled a hole in, and that thing from Woodfast that's got the revolving center on it. I'm working on a replacement for that, and I'll let you know what I find. Now let's go back over to the lathe. I've got my 3 circles. I put some medium thick super glue around the rim. Now I drew the circle where it was going to line up before. Alright, so I knew where to put it at. Medium fast, medium thick from Paul out at Star Bond, and put it on there. Now I'm going to use a center on my tailstock just to bring it up and put it in place. Lock it down, put a little pressure. Now I'm going to let it walk around a little bit because I want it to make sure it's centered all the way around. And then I'm going to crank it up in about an hour, and I'm going to trim up the face of it. I just want to clean this up and clean up the other face a little bit, just because I might make contact with this later on, and I wouldn't want the splinters and all to attack me. I'm not going to be vacuuming through this edge, so I'm okay with it. Now after I get that, I take my homemade shop drill and drill a 3/8 hole down through the center, and then I get out my box cutting scraper. And I V this thing, and I put a socket down there so that my rubber bung that I found at the hardware store with the hole through the middle of it, see it there? That's what I ran through the center. Oh, see those 2 screws? I backed up my glue joint with 2 wood screws into the glue block. Now, this lines up to be what, 3.5, 4 inches or something like that. I'm going to use my calipers. I'm going to put a mark on here, and boy, I never get this right. Watch. Here comes the catch. See it? Now I remember to go to the bottom, and I put a mark. That was just a rough mark. Now I put a plow in there using my regular diamond parting tool. I put a plow down here. Now I will test this plow. I will go about a 1/4 inch, get my pipe and check it and see if it's in there. I'm not super nuts about how tight it's going to fit, but I want it to fit fairly tight. This is what I want. Boom. That's it. I'm using a 3-inch PVC cleanout without the cover. Good thick. Now, when you put it on, it spins pretty true because I have that dado down in there with that parting tool. I got about a 1/2 inch deep. My dad would be proud of me. This is hot glue. He hot glued everything. But hot melt glue, real fast. Let it warm up a lot. Get good and thick, good and loose. And then a good line through the bottom. Put the ring on there, squish it in, make sure it's down in there and set all the way down. You got to go fast on this. And then put it back up on a chuck. Take your glue gun and go around the perimeter now on the outside, and you also want to do it on the inside to make sure it's not sealed, that it's sealed really well. No leaks around this. The hot glue works great for this. Now this is a cord I picked up from Craft Supplies. Here's a number, 280-2700. This is under vacuum chucking. Now I take my little fingernail gouge, and I hate this because it's plastic. See the ribbons that peel off of it? I take my little fingernail gouge and put a little V, a little cove along that edge on the outside. First I remove all those little bumps that are out there. Then I put that little cove in the edge on the outside. About the same size as the plastic rod. There it is. That's what you have to fit that rod down in there. The fingernail gouge works really well. And remember, you're scraping. You're not going to cut this plastic very well. You're going to scrape it out the way. Light passes, otherwise it melts and gets in your way. Get it clean here. And you also, see how the cord fits in there? Fits in there really well, doesn't it? That's what you're looking for. Good tight fit. Because when you pull it in, you want it to drop into the groove. Now you can put one on the inside also. And when you put one on the inside, see it down in there by the threads? There, I'm going to clean it up a little bit. That way you can put 2 cords on. Now I can't do it on this one. I ran out of that darn foam tape. So, and I can't find a good replacement for it right now. But I put one on the inside, one on the outside with about an 1/8 inch wall between them. That's all I need. And it gives me a way I can do balls and I can do bowls. It's really cool. Now, medium thick C8 and accelerator. A little medium thick, about an inch and a half line. Oop, that looks like 3 inches. But put a little bit down, then step out the way a little bit, put a little accelerator on a cord, and then put that cord down in place. You don't want to twist this because it'll come back later to haunt you. But lay the cord down there a little bit and then roll it around. That accelerator is going to set it up pretty quick, and then you're going to just step it around. A little bit of accelerator, a little bit of glue, a little glue, little accelerator, all the way around the piece. You're going to get it set down just right. Not a lot of glue because you want the foam to flex. If you have a lot of glue in the foam, it won't flex. Then when you get around to the center again, get out your X-Acto knife, make a cut, make it a little bit long, and then go clean through to the end of the other one. You see how it's puffed up now, a little bit of cleanup down there, and then you can fill in that other gap. There you have it. Faceplate for a vacuum chuck. Really simple to make. Works great. If you put the band on the inside, I ran out of material. Put the band on the inside, it'll hold it the other way also. So go ahead, get out in the shop, make you one, save some bucks. Do the right thing. I'm Captain Eddie Castellan, making shavings. Oh wait, I got a little something to add. Don't go anywhere, I want to show you something. I like to do a lot of thin turning. Now I've got a pole on here that's less than an 1/8 inch thick, probably about a 1/16 thick. And I was drawing 5 inches of vacuum. Now I wet the bowl down, it was a really dry piece. And look, it popped up to 12 inches. I'm going to wet it down again. Just show you how this pulls through the wood. And it's going to pop up almost 20 inches of vacuum. Well, here we're at 15. Oh, I read it wrong. But that'll show you that if you're putting finish on a piece and you've got that thing cranked all the way up, you can pull the finish from the outside through to the inside. Guys tell me, I hate the vacuum chuck when I put a finish on because it looks bad, because you're pulling the finish clean through. Look at this. Pull that water right through that bowl. But I could have wet sanded the outside of that bowl with 15 inches of vacuum, and I could have put a super finish on the outside, and then later on buffed off the little fuzz that puffed up because it was wet. Just remember when you're vacuuming, sometimes you just pull